Hey, what's up everybody? Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be doing something kind of cool and special. This is going to be called the Freeze Team. What it's going to consist of is going to be all characters that can freeze people like Asari Adapts and Batarian Sentinels. I'm going to show you my new revised build for the Batarian Sentinel. I'm going to have Blade Armor at 3, Shockwave with Radius, really important. I always keep saying this, but I'll say it again, you need the Radius. This time, I'm going to go for Reach, though, on my, I'm not going to go Detonate. Now, I do recommend Detonate if you're going to be doing combos with teammates. But for Reach, the reason why Reach is because the idea is that it's just going to be for me. Like, this character is mainly designed for just, myself. Like, for if I was the only one using them. Now, in this build, I'm going to be using Submission Net. So, for the first one, I'm going to be going for damage. Don't really know how this thing does damage, but whatever. Then damage and slow, it's going to slow down armor targets. And then finally, electrical field. This is definitely really good. It's going to make it like a chain overload every 1.5 seconds. And stun enemies around, frozen enemies. For Batarian Force Surge, it's going to go for damage and capacity, and then power damage. Pretty much it. Pretty standard stuff. And then for fitness, of course, just all shields. He's a Sentinel. He's meant to not die. He's meant to be a tank. But yeah, so that's the idea. Alright. For the weapon I'm going to be using the Talon pistol. It is a beast of a gun. I love this gun. Going to be using extended mags with extended barrel on it. Now, one thing I really did want to bring up in this video is that I recently just got a new gun and I want to show it to you. Oh yeah, that's right. I got the M90 Indra. So keep this in mind. You can maybe vote for this for Fun with Guns. It's going to be coming out tomorrow. Or I might bring out a video with this gun before that, depending on how I feel. So let me know what you think of that. I'm happy I got the gun and now I can show you a gameplay with it. For the equipment though, in this video I'm going to be using pistol round 3, armor piercing rounds 3, and then power efficiency 3. You're gonna he's a Sentinel. His powers are going to take a long time anyway. Alright, so let me first start by telling you why I've switched this build back to Submission Net. Is because they actually have lowered the recharge speed on Submission Net once again in this week's update, and it really makes it like a lot more viable now. Meaning that before its recharge speed was so long that it was kind of really bad, especially with Blade Armor, but now it has the same recharge speed as a Warp. So even with the Blade Armor, it's going to come back pretty quickly, and it is a really good power, honestly. If you guys don't know what it does, it freezes enemies just like Stasis. The biggest difference is that it actually has a lot quicker recharge speed than Stasis, so that's really nice. And then the other thing is that it can actually set up tech bursts, and that's something that's really cool too. That and the idea of this build is that you can get them in the net, and then actually you might see it right here, yeah. And then if I let my power recharge and I shockwave them, that's going to cause a tech burst. And that's really awesome. So this guy can actually set up his own tech burst, and it's not bad. And shockwave is always a really good power just for stunning and for just doing doing your thing. Now, like I said, so the reason why this is called Freeze City is because we're using 2 Asari Adapts with Stasis and then 2 Batarian Sentinels with Submission Net. So the idea of this is that we're just going to be freezing all the enemies. And what's godly about this team, especially against Cerberus, this is definitely a super anti-Cerberus kind of team, is that we can get explosions because of the Stasis and the Shockwave. So every time I see something in Stasis, I'm going to throw a Shockwave at it. And they can also set they can set tech burst off with me with throw or warp or whatever it is, and just back and forth. Now, one thing I wanted to say about Submission Net though is that it can be a little glitchy. I mean, it's a little the difference between Stasis and Submission Net is that Submission Net for the most part is better. It damages them over time. It has some really nice perks to it, but the downside is that it actually is kind of inaccurate. You can miss with the Submission Net really easily, and with the Stasis, it's like really it's almost impossible to miss. Like unless you just totally flat out miss, then yeah, for the most part you'll hit them. And it can be a little glitchy too. Submission Net I've noticed can be glitchy. Like what can happen is that you can get into these weird patterns of like you'll throw the net at somebody and it just will like totally miss when it should not miss. I'm talking about they're right in front of you point blank and you throw it at him and it goes flying off to the right or something. That's really weird too, and that's one of the reasons I don't like this power that much. But overall, I really wanted to try it again. I really wanted to see, like, with the new update, how good can it be. And if you can get it to work, like I said, sometimes it doesn't work, but if you can get it to work, and especially if you're just running around doing this by yourself and no one else is, like, you know, using combos or whatever, then yeah, you know, it's pretty viable. Like, you can actually, you know, mess some enemies up. You know, you just freeze them and stuff. And what I like to do, like I said, I like to set up my own tech burst with it. I like to use shockwave on anything without a shield just to knock them down. And anything with a shield, like a Centaurian, a Nemesis, a Phantom, I try to get them in the net. And if I can, then yeah, they're pretty much dead. You know, that's just something it does. It just will literally kill them. So, you know, I really recommend trying out Submission Net now on the Batarian Sentinel just because of the update. Another thing they did with the update, if you guys don't know, is they made the Turian Sentinel even better now. Now, with the tech armor, in the or just Sentinels in general, got a big boost. Tech armor, by default, gives you 35% damage protection, so that is really crazy awesome. So if you go for durability in it, you'll have 50% damage protection. Kind of insane, but yeah. And on Krogan Sentinel, you know, that's going to be really crazy to have 50% damage protection, and if you get Rage, you'll have 80% damage protection. I mean, that's freaking nuts. But, you know, like, overall, though, you know, I don't know, it's still, you know, tech armor, Sentinels, in my opinion, were always really good, so I don't really know why they buffed them. But I guess they just felt it would be necessary. Maybe a lot of people don't like them. I like them, but, you know, it's whatever. Alright, so like I said, you know, with the Submission Net, it's really godly against armor, just because it slows them down. It makes it so they, you know, they do take a lot of damage from it over time, and you can get tech bursts, so that's cool. But the thing is that in this gameplay, you won't see that too much, because I will Submission Net these things from time to time. But, you know, my teammates are going to be warping the Atlases, and I'm going to be shockwaving the Atlas just for my teammates primarily. You know, the idea, like I said, the idea of this is that we're just going to work off each other. Like, you know, we're all going to freeze the enemies, especially the Phantoms. And then every time that, you know, I see a stasis, I can go ahead and set off a combo for them with shockwave. And every time they see a Submission Net, they can set off a combo for me with throw or warp or whatever. Same with shockwave, whatever it's going to be. So yeah, it's just a really nice team gameplay here that we had going on. You know, I don't know. It's fun, and the Talon is amazing. Like, I really love this gun. It's one of my favorite guns in the whole game, honestly. Don't really play with it much, but when I do, I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite gun to use on a Batarian, to be honest, just because, you know, with this gun, if you guys don't know, you actually have to really not. You don't want to aim this gun in. You want to just, like, I don't know, the reticle. I don't like the reticle on it. It's really weird. It feels like it's a lot more accurate when you use when you actually just hip fire it. So that's one great thing about hip fire in this gun. And then the other thing, of course, is that you know, the Batarians in general are characters that I like to play very fast paced with. I like to be in their face. That's one thing about Submission Net, is that you really do need to be in their face. If you try to Submission Net a guy from really far away, he's probably going to dodge it. You know, especially Cerberus. They're probably going to dodge your Submission Nets. But if you're point blank next to them, they really can't dodge it, as long as it's working. Like I said, sometimes it won't work, and it's just really frustrating and super annoying. But if it's working right, then, you know, if you're point blank, you know, you'll freeze him. And, like, right there, like, dude, he's frozen, he's screwed. It's just that simple. Same with Phantoms. Like, you know, if you're point blank on them, you probably will be able to freeze them. But Phantoms are a little trickier, just because a lot of times they will actually, no matter what, dodge your Submission Net. Now, one thing I also wanted to bring up in this gameplay is that, yeah, you know, shockwave would reach, even though detonate is really amazing for, you know, your teammates and setting off combos because it's so powerful. But in general, just with all the updates from shockwave, like, the reach on it is just so awesome. I mean, you can just shockwave things from across the map and, you know, knock them down, just do a lot of cool things to them. You know, and I love the fact that he can set up his own tech burst. That's so cool. You You know, and blade armor, you really don't need the blade armor for real. Like, there's a couple good things it does. Like, I don't like to melee in general, just ever. Like, I mean, literally, I never like to melee with any character, including, like, Krogans and everything. I just do not like to do it. So, I just, you know, and for gold in general, guys, meleeing on any character is just never really that good. Like, you know, you die a lot trying to do things like that. So the better strategy is normally just to shoot them and stuff. So that's what I like to do with this, guys. I like to just shoot them. I like to be close range, but I don't like to be that close range to the point where I take the risk of getting assassinated, or I take the risk of a lot of other really stupid things happening. You just don't want that. You know, you just don't want that kind of stuff to happen to you. You want to be able to move around. And because this guy doesn't have a role, and because this guy, you know, I don't care how much health he has or whatever. He feels very flimsy, like he can get dropped very easily. Like, it's really kind of weird to me. I feel like I have more health, or I have more defense with a Turian soldier than I do with a Batarian Sentinel, as crazy as that might sound. So, you know, that's just how I feel about it. I don't really know if that's, like, if it's glitched or something and he's just weak. But because of that fact, and he can't dodge and he can't move and things, you have to stay mobile. You have to keep constantly moving. And if you're sitting there aiming in your gun, you know, it's just not going to work right. So guns that you don't have to aim in are normally a lot better for this guy. And the Talon, you know, is one of them. Hurricane SMG would be a good one, honestly. Same with the Hornet, things like that. They would all be good guns to use on them. Just because, like I said, you just don't want to aim them in. And those guns, you just don't want to aim them in. You have a lot less recoil with those guns. Alright. So obviously, guys, now that you know I have the Indra, I'm really happy I have the Indra, because I know a lot of people wanted to see that, and it was really disappointing to some people that I didn't have it. But luckily, just like last night, I was able to get it. And, you know, like I said, I will be willing to do a fun with guns with it, but more than likely, I don't know, it's up to you guys. Like, if you want to see a gameplay of me just use that gun, like, I'm down to do that too. I don't have to necessarily make it a fun with guns, because it's going to take a week for me to put out a gameplay with that if it's fun with guns. Where if it's not fun with guns, I can just put it out like sometime during the week, just some type of random gameplay using the Indra. So, you know, like, it's up to you what you want to see. Another thing too is that I actually have figured out a way, you know, just, I know there's going to be an operation this weekend, and it sounds really crazy, but I'll get into that in a second. But you know, I heard, you know, I actually figured out a way that I can actually use the Hurricane just in case I don't get it. There's a good chance I won't. But, you know, what I figured out is that if I actually borrow someone else's account who has the Hurricane, and there's plenty of people who are willing to let me do that, so don't worry about it. Don't leave a comment saying, oh, of course, Jumpin', you can, you know, borrow my account if you need it. No, I already got people that are willing to do it, so don't worry about it, guys. But yeah, I can actually borrow someone else's account who has it and actually use the gun. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up too. So I can also bring you gameplay of me using the Hurricane doing that. So that's something else. Like, if you wanted to vote for that for Fun with Guns, go for it. If not, I can bring out a gameplay with it sometime this week. So like I said, just leave a comment and let me know what you would prefer. Do you want to see Fun with Guns, or do you just want to see gameplays? Because I can do that as well. But that also means that when Fun with Guns come out tomorrow, don't go voting for it if that's what you guys want. You know, I don't want, you know, I don't know. Like I said, this is very important. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to really bring up in this video is about the operation this week. It sounds really awesome and crazy. They're saying because we failed the operation with the, and I'm really glad we did now in a way, that because we failed the operation with the Banshees, there's going to be more Banshees now around, and it's like, I've heard a lot of different things. Some people think that they're going to be 3 Banshees on Reapers on Gold at a time. Other people I know, they actually believe that what's going to happen is that they're going to make it so that there's going to be Banshees that can just come out, you know, come up in any faction, meaning that against Cerberus, you might be playing Wave 10, all of a sudden there's 2 Banshees. That would be crazy. I really hope that's what it is, because that would make it very interesting. You know, like, that would be really cool to see too. So I don't know, if whatever you guys have heard, if you guys heard anything about that, like, what is it going to be? Is it going to be that, you know, Banshees can just pop up anywhere against Gaff or against Reapers or whatever it is, let me know if you know, what you've heard, because I am interested, because like that, it just sounds awesome. I can't wait to fight some Phantoms and Banshees at the same time. I mean, you just got to think about that. Like, imagine if you had to fight, you know, both of these enemies at the same time. It'd be insane. It'd be like so I don't know. I guess it's just gonna be hard, honestly. I don't really think it's gonna be too hard, but it definitely has potential of being extremely hard. As you can tell, like I said, and this is actually really crazy right here. Look at that feed. Like I said, you know, like I don't know, like it really depends on what you guys want to see, like especially with the whole Indra thing. I really want to use that gun. I'm planning on using it pretty soon here. I haven't used it yet, but when I do use it, I'm probably gonna either fall in love with it or totally hate it. So in that time span of me using it, I will get gameplay with it, and I will, you know, figure out what you guys want to see, and I'll, you know, definitely put it out there. Same with the Hurricane. I'm gonna try to get some gameplay with that. That should be cool. Because I really want to use that gun too. I've never used that gun, and I can't wait to actually try it out for myself. I know a lot of people hate that gun. A lot of people talk a lot of mess about it, saying that it's like they can't stand it, they don't know how to use it, blah 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 blah. And I, for the most part, I think it's awesome. I think it's gonna be one of the best guns in the whole game. So yeah, you know, like I said, just leave me a comment and let me know what you want to see. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about this gameplay here. As you can tell, this has been somewhat easy. You know, it wasn't as easy as we thought it was gonna be, because we thought, you know, this was gonna be like brain dead easy if we could freeze all the enemies. But you know, I don't know. Like, for the most part, I thought it was pretty easy, just because, you know, freezing the enemies, if you can, you know, stasis is an amazing power, especially against Cerberus. And submission net, if you can hit enemies with it, like right there, she dodged it, so that was stupid. And right here, she dodged it. So, like, you know, that's the downside to this power, is that they can dodge it. But if it works right and they don't dodge it, yeah, it's amazing. So, you know, like, that's the thing. Like, this whole team right here is just meant to be a team, like, you know, teamwork kind of, or, you know, all about teamwork. You know, like I said, you just gotta keep keep those things in mind. Unfortunately, though, Chelenkus in this video, he was being kind of dumb. Like, he thought I wanted him just to shockwave everything. So yeah, I think at this point is when he started using submission net finally. But yeah, you know, that's the idea, is that, you know, we're gonna all just be submission netting everything. I really don't understand the submission net glitch thing. Like I was telling you before, there is some type of glitch with it. I never encountered it for a long time. And then finally, like, just playing with it recently, like, I noticed that it happens quite a bit. And like I said, what it is that, like, it's weird, but sometimes when you submission net, it will just go flying in some really random direction that it should not be going at all. I mean, it should, you know, you aim it in front of you, it goes flying far to the left. I don't understand why it does that. It could be some type of glitch with cover. I don't know. There's a lot of glitches like that. That was a really nice shot I got on her. But yeah, as you can tell, we're just raping shit. We're just, you know, just pooping on Cerberus. And I had a couple people tell me that, like, they were wondering, why do I upload full games of Mass Effect? Because I know a lot of other people, most other people who upload Mass Effect gameplays, they normally only upload, you know, wave 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's it. It's like a 14-minute video, and, you know, my videos are normally like 30 minutes long. I understand that, you know, most people don't want to watch a 30-minute video. I get that. But the truth of the matter is this, is that if you don't want to watch a 30-minute video, you can always just fast forward it to, you know, the later waves if you just want to see those or whatever. And this is kind of a fail of a rocket. I was trying to hit, like, I thought there was a big group over there, but apparently there wasn't. And unfortunately, True went right into that nade. We tried to warn him, but I guess he just didn't really get the memo. But anyway, like I was saying, you know, this Phantom's glitch right here, too. That happens with stasis sometimes. It's really weird. But yeah, they'll, like, just be glitched on the ground. But for some reason, they can still shoot you, so it's really stupid. Anyway, like I was saying, you know, a lot of people wonder that. And the truth of the matter is this, is that, you know, yeah, I do upload these videos. But the reason why is just because there's a lot of people out there who really want help throughout all of Gold. You know, they want to see... As many of you guys who might be out there who only want to see certain waves, there's a lot of people out there who wants to see all the waves. So it's just one of those things, like, you know, And like that's how I base things, is that, you know, I upload, you know, I try to stick with patterns of what everybody, you know, the majority probably wants. And to my knowledge, I'm pretty confident the majority likes to watch the full game, you know, and listen to a full commentary of 30 minutes. Now, of course, you know, that's the other thing I do that other people don't do. And the reason why people upload 14-minute games is not because they want to upload just 14-minute games. And they'll always say, you know, well, I wanted, you know, I'm only going to upload these waves because I don't think everybody wants to see, you know, a 30-minute video. That's not why they do it. It's because if they're commentating it, they don't want to, they can't commentate it for 30 minutes. That's the thing, where I actually do commentate the whole video for 30 minutes or whatever. And, you know, it's just, but that's just how I operate. That's, I've always commentated long videos. I am pretty decent at just talking for a very long period of time. You know, it's just something I can do. Well, other people really can't. So, like, that's just kind of what happens. And like I said, like, it's what it is, really. It's like I said, people just, they cannot commentate something for 30 minutes. And it's hard, because commentating videos it's actually not as easy as it looks, honestly. And, you know, you might think that you could commentate a gameplay, but you go ahead and try it, and you'll be surprised on how like difficult it can actually be. So that's the reason why people do that, and that's the reason why I don't do that. It's because, like, to me, I think that my stuff is unique to the, you know, I try to keep everything very unique. I try to be original with my gameplays and with my commentating and with, you know, everything like that. You know, because I do it for you guys. I do everything for you, for my subscribers, for my audience, all that kind of stuff. And one thing I really wanted to say in this video is that I recently just got 2,000 subscribers, and I am really, really pumped up about that. I'll probably actually bring that up in the next video too, just because, yeah, you know, I'm really ecstatic about that. Like, you know, a lot of people might not think 2,000 subscribers is a lot, but I personally do, just because, like, I don't know, like, I started with so few, and like I had my YouTube for about a year, and I think I had the most I ever had was like 500 or 600, and just from the Mass Effect alone, I've gained like 1,500 subscribers. That's insane to me, and I'm really, really happy. And yeah, you know, I really want to, you know, just thank everybody out there, you know, all my subscribers, all my fans, all that stuff, because, you know, you guys are what makes this happen. Like, I upload videos like I do, and I do these things because of you guys. If I didn't have any fans, I wouldn't do it. Like, it's that simple. And I don't care about having 100,000 subscribers. That's whatever. Like, you know, that would be nice if I could have, like, you know, thousands of subscribers. That would be cool. But you know, it might happen one day. It might not. But if I can at least have some audience, like people watching my videos, you know, I can't fucking talk right, guys. If I can have people watch my videos a lot, then, you know, and that's all that matters to me. Like, that's the only thing that matters to me. Alright, but let me shut up about that, because, you know, you guys get it. And right here, this is fucking bullshit. I hate it. Combat engineers are so annoying. Yeah, this is one of those moments of just like, yeah, this ain't that easy. Like, as easy as it's been, like, this is one of the moments of like, oh crap. Right here, I'm gonna go ahead and hip fire, or I guess cover fire him. You guys gotta remember you can do that, because that's actually a really effective strategy to sit behind the cover and just shoot up and not actually aim. Because when you do that, what happens is that you actually, and this turret will not die. There we go. But what will happen is that you actually take so little damage. Like, it's so much harder for the enemies to shoot you that way than any other way. So, you know, like, it is an effective strategy to do from time to time. I wouldn't recommend just sitting behind cover ever, honestly. I hate sitting behind cover because I feel like a bitch, kind of. But, you know, at times you need to do it. And when you do need to do it, just go for it. It's, you know, you need your shield. You know, you don't want to be fighting enemies with no shields, like, most of the time. It's a lot more effective to run around with shields than it is to run around without no shields. Like, so it's just what it is, guys. Alright, so right here we're gonna go ahead and kill this Atlas. Chalinkus gets grabbed. I don't know how the hell that happened, but I guess he got a little bit too close, and yeah, you know, the Atlas decided to fuck his ass up. Anyway, I don't know. I don't even know what wave we're on. You know, yeah, wave 10. So we got these stupid devices. You know, it's like the most dreaded and dumbest freaking objective you can get for wave 10, especially on this map. This map is so small that you definitely can have problems. You know, with getting devices and stuff. And right here, I'm gonna line up a really nice rocket. I knew that was going to be a kill streak just because I looked into the room through the window first, and when I went down there I knew there was going to be atlases and a whole bunch of other crap coming, so I decided to go ahead and take that rocket. Alright, right here, it's going to kill this fan. You know, like I said, if the stasis is going to like outdo the submission net, honestly, but believe me, submission net is a good power to use, especially when you're just running around using it and no one else is using stasis or something. You know, the idea of this video was to just freeze everything, but in general, like, submission net is a good power. When it works, it's great. And right here, we're going to definitely need to rocket this just because, you know, the ejective's right here. So, yeah, Slayer's just going to go ahead and rocket that group. And then the final ejective's going to be right over here, so this should be pretty easy to get. Unfortunately, though, there's going to be 2 atlases down here. Now, one very important thing, guys, is that if you're going to rocket a group of atlases, you really need to wait until after the ejective is done. Otherwise, they're going to spawn right, you know, they're just going to spawn in right away. Now that it's done, you know, now he can go ahead and rocket that, and pretty much, you know, yeah, no more atlases, and that's just what you need to do. Now that that's done, like I said, the atlases cannot respawn, and, you know, we're going to be really close to completing this ejective. It's really funny, too, when you catch them in a flip with the submission net. Or really just with stasis or submission net, but with submission net, it's even funnier, though. Just because, like, there's no, like, big aura around them. It's just them frozen. It's like, what the fuck? Alright, well, that's going to be the wave, though. So, you know, as you can tell, it's pretty easy. You know, if you do it right, nothing's ever too hard. Alright. But, like, you know, we're still trying to get our 3rd kill streak, so I think Chalinkus is going to go and get it. And I'm just going to go ahead and chill in this room. You definitely want to chill in this main room, but you need to block the spawns in the back. Meaning you need to block the spawn where I was, and you need to block the spawn where I think Drew was. Because you don't want them spawning there. But unfortunately, because if you run down there and you rocket them, they're going to spawn up here. And that's what actually is going to happen. I know it really sucks when that happens, but like you just really can't afford to rocket like a group like that. Now, if we wanted to, you know, we really did want the last kill streak. That's why we decided to go ahead and do that. But you know, in general, it can kind of cost you. I mean, that one kill streak can cost you full extraction. You technically make up for it. I mean, you might lose 10,000, but you gain 10,000. But you know, I think everybody wants to, like, you know, survive the mission. But the problem is that anyone who's left in this room, sitting here, waiting, you know, for the other people to come back up top after a rocket, yeah, you have a chance of this phantom spawning behind you and running up and killing you. So, you know, it can be very risky doing something like that. So just try to keep that in mind, guys. You know, for the most part, if you don't kill any enemies on the distraction wave, they won't spawn any more enemies. I mean, you should kill enemies, but you should try to make sure that they're not going to spawn behind you. And this map is notorious for enemies spawning behind you after you get like a big group of enemies killed, especially a group of enemies. Like if you kill all the phantoms and the atlas, yeah, you're going to have all the phantoms and atlas potentially spawning behind you. And you don't want that because that's when you're going to have some trouble. Alright, so Chalinkus is going to rocket that. At this point, once you get down to about 20 seconds, that's when you pretty much need to just make a run for it and get to the LZ, and, you know, kind of just camping the LZ at this point. Because, like, you really won't have too many enemies coming in here. Really, if you do it right, like right here, we're going to have literally no enemies coming at us. And I'm actually going to go into shockwave through the wall and then take a shot through the wall and, yeah, kill every enemy up there. So that was really cool at the end. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you enjoyed the Freeze team. Like I said, if you guys want to see the intro gameplay, you know, like I said, you can vote for it in Fun with Guns, or you can just leave a comment and let me know if you just want to see a gameplay with it throughout the week. Same with the Hurricane. I do have a way of getting gameplay with the Hurricane now. So, if you guys want to see that in Fun with Guns, you can vote for that in this week's Fun with Guns, which is coming out tomorrow. Or you just leave a comment, tell me you want to see it. Yeah, but that's going to be pretty much it, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And like always, have a nice day.